Good afternoon from Yammy BTV. Wishing you all well today. Sending loads of love. Yeah, I feel a bit better now than this morning. It felt like I was in deep warning this morning. But the aftermath, I know we've gone through it all already. Probably some of us still going through it. But yes, life goes on. You still got to get up. You still got to get dressed. There'll be the World Cup next year. I won't be doing any predictions on that. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. A couple of questions come up this morning again about my relationships in prison. You know, when you're a prisoner and you get a little bit of luck, I suppose we could call it, all serious relationships develop from prison, meaning with staff of some kind, not just officers. It could be teachers, nurses, etc. That kind of thing. These are the kind of, I think I've told you a couple anyway of my ones. But there was another one, an experience that I went through. It was in Loudham Grange, and it was the year 1999 when I was on the merry-go-round, and Loudham Grange just opened, and it was a private prison. Bloody hell, the food there was mint. It was like when you come out of HMP to go to a private, Nick, especially them days, you know, you see the difference straight away in the quality of food where you've got outside caterers and things like that. And then you get off the bus and they're all saying to you, hello, good afternoon. And, you know, it's like more like you're in some kind of hospital institution or maybe a hotel or something like that, if you get what I mean. But yeah, the behaviour and conduct of staff and everything all put together completely different from HMP. I haven't been to a private one for a while. I think I went through Donny for a few weeks, I think in the 90s as well, around about that time, or early millennium. No, it would have been about late 90s, before 2000 as well, when that first opened. Proper jailed that as well, in the respects of match-ups with the HMP thing. But yeah, I saw it quite early on, from a very early age, that human nature can bring people together, even if you're a serving prisoner in there. There's some very good ending stories as well as bad ones, coming to reason now, coming to light now. Is that even a couple of inmates have gone on to marry officers and, you know, have families, settle down and whatever, and live happily ever after, if you like. So it does happen, and not always in a good way. But this one here, I got involved in, but I didn't actually do nothing with on the relationship side of things with the nurse. But so so for a few days, right, there was a nurse there, and she used to come in, and she used to come and see one particular guy on the wing, and his name was Ronnie, right? And well, many suspected something might be going on, but there wasn't any factual evidence. He'd never said anything. You know, I've known there's people close to me that you lot know that had affairs in prison and kept it quiet for the whole time. Nobody knew until, you know, until it came to light, or, you know, it came about years later. You know, so it's not everyone where you get caught at it like that, you know, on the moment. But yeah, I used to witness us to say hello to her, Catherine, and she used to talk. But, you know, we used to have a little, you know, I used to try it on a little bit as well, if you like little chatty lines, flirty lines. And one of those days, I was sitting down by the table, because in Loudham Grange you've got you can get your dinner, and you sit at a lunch, you know, a lunch area where there's seats and things. Like there used to be these blue plastic chairs and that kind of thing, which I'd never seen before in prison. In the old HMPs, not really. In the old Sea Cats, I think in Coldney there might have been a few dining areas in other prisons, but in most of them, definitely not. So we're sitting around a table, and we're talking and laughing. And then I looked up and I see Ronnie looking at me, right? And a few people were there then as well. A couple of good pals I had as well. One of them was from Leicester. I think his name was Samuel Paul Sampson. Proper stuff he was, and an Irish man called, oh, I forgot his bloody name, well known as well. Proper stuff as well. And Russell McVicker was there as well, John McVicker's son. But yeah, anyway, I looked up, and Doc from Manchester. Yeah, yeah. If you're watching, I know that you was there as well. I know I still ain't got round to the story. Sorry. Anyway, we're up. I'm looking. I'm laughing. I'm looking up, and he's quite a big lump, Ronnie, and he's looking at me with a face of thunder. So I could only guess that he had the ump that I was talking to the nurse. But like I said, nothing had happened yet between us. But maybe he was maybe he was anticipating that I was trying it on or going to take her away from him, or what am I doing, stepping on his toes, kind of thing, which is quite understandable, I suppose. But yep, I looked up at him and he looked and he was doing this to me. Come upstairs. I've gone upstairs. It's nearly bang up time. They've just shouted bang up. That's right. They just shouted bang up. And I've gone upstairs and he said to me, look, I'm going to warn you once. I'm warning you once only. Don't talk to my girl. Stay away from her. So I looked down, I saw her looking up, and then they're shouting bang up, and they're on the landings getting ready to lock everyone up. And he turns around and says, come into my cell, come into my cell. I said to him, no, I'm coming to mine. But it was too late anyway. The doors were being shut. Didn't really want it to come on top. But I was thinking to myself, oh no, not another one, Yammy. Where someone's got to be angry, someone's got to come out and stick it on you, kind of thing. And it wasn't like he was out there looking for a fight. But these are the things again that can happen in prison, with other people's feelings or emotions and energies around you day and night. But yep, no. So the doors got banged up. A few of them who I've just mentioned were aware of it and were saying, right, all right, right, bang up, bang up, bang up. So it was evening time, I think, with the confrontation, and we weren't let out until the following morning. So all night I was lying there thinking, well, as soon as the door opens, it's going to go off, isn't it? Because it was on the edge of your seats kind of stuff, right on bang up. So in the morning, the door opens, I put on my trainers, he's at the door, with his big self, and he's saying to me, yeah, come on, come over to mine. I said, so why don't you come in here then and we'll have it? And then Paul Sampson come, that's right, from Leicester. And he said, no, I'll tell you what, why don't you just all go into the video room down the bottom, Loudon Grange, but you go along the landing and you have to walk down, just down to the bottom of the landing where they had a big TV in there. But I'm sure there was a camera in there. I'm sure in London Grange there's a desk outside with the electric doors coming, and there's a couple of people that sit in the front watching things all day. But I can't remember. But I think it was a Sunday morning, which made it difficult. Which made it more quieter, right? So all right, so we was all walking off. I said, all right then, video room. Even though he's a big lump and he was massive as well, but I still fancied my chances against him them days in the 90s. So we're walking and walking and walking, and everybody's walking behind us, thinking, "Oh no, it's gonna go off." So before we got through the door of the video room, I'll never forget it. I walked, and before I got through the door to lock the door so that nobody could see or everybody would be watching through the glass thing, he punched me in the mouth. But as a heavyweight, like when he hit me, I thought, well, what are you going to do that for before the fight started, kind of thing? And you got the edge with the size thing. So if anything, that spurred me on. But I took it well. We've gone straight into the room. But I started to unload. I started to throw loads of flurries, right? And he was all over the place. But he's such a massive. His head was big. It was difficult to put him away in that way. I threw the kitchen sink in, and then I got caught with a couple of bangs near the end. I'll never forget it. But just as I got a couple of big ones, like everybody like was in between. But I think the officers, the bell went and everything. But Paul Sampson come in. Yeah, he come in and I wasn't hurt. And I think if anything, I'll put that one down as a victory. If anything. But yeah, this and Paul Sampson, that's what he said. He said, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, you shouldn't have been throwing a punch. It was like throwing a punch after the bell or something. They was all disputing about, but basically Paul Sampson said to him, "Would you, do you want to have a go as well?" Kind of thing. I said, "Paul, leave it." So we ended up getting nicked over it. We ended up down the block. Oh God, I think I had a fat lip, back eye, but gave as good as I got anyway. And I was down the block, and the nurse came to the smile and said to me, "So sorry." I said, "Oh God, sorry for what?" Really, we both went in front of the governor. We both came back up onto the wing. Everybody was waiting when we came back up, and I said to him, because he was hovering on the landing. I said to him, "Do you want round two then?" Because it was inconclusive. But what does it all mean? It doesn't mean nothing. Just a bit of a tear up over something. But I heard they got married, and yeah, that's the moral of the story. They got married and lived, apparently still living together now. So there are good ones that come out of it. I think I told you about the Woodhill one as well with me as well. That would have been a really nice one for the future. But yeah, very nice lady. Nothing happened in there though. in Woodhill. I remember there was somebody there that messed that up for me as well. Inmates get jealous, you know, if you let them know, because everybody's thinking that they've got a chance with a female. Do you see what I mean? Everybody misses it, obviously, if you haven't, especially if you're not getting no comfort from anywhere else out there, especially. But yeah, it's very, very bitter in there. People don't want to see you getting something nice and they're not, and they'll stick you in and then try and have a go somewhere themselves. But yeah, there's some real heartening stories to prison, and it does happen pretty regular with all aspects of institutions. To be honest, I'm just hearing now. I know of at least 11 or 12 officers that end up marrying inmates as well. So that's just a quick one to let you know. Right, I'll be back up in a minute. Any more suggestions for anything? And Peter Gibbs, remind me of that subject the other day because I can't find it.